Hello everyone, welcome back for some more thrift store finds, and this was crazy. I've been home a little while, cleaned some stuff, got something to eat, and I am still in like an adrenaline rush mode. So much great stuff. Again, for the first few parts of the day, they were actually moving and switching out bins about every 45 minutes until a little before noon, and so I had multiple times where I was in between purchasing, moving things to the car, and it was crazy. So we're going to start actually with the second round of stuff that I got to move this big thing out of the way. I'm going to save my absolute favorite thing till the very end because mind-blowing what I found, and then just the intense amount of stuff, and unbelievable. First off, I went in when the second round was coming through, and that was the part that didn't have quite as much, but I found a couple of electronics items, saved them towards the end, and then also for $6 I grabbed two nice stacks of stuff here. First off, I just couldn't believe it. For a total of $6, even though it's not working, this is good, but I'm going to be testing it out and cleaning it. Found a PS3. The old fat models, it's either the 40 or the 60 gigabyte version, so might be the backwards compatible ones. I haven't really looked at it very much yet. Didn't have any cords or anything, but yeah, so for $6, grabbed PlayStation 3 and this folder here. Video games, very hard to find around here, and it doesn't matter where you go, they normally are pulled out before they even get to the bargain bins or anything. But not if they're all in this folder. A folder full of PS1 and PS2 games and a few PC games and a few DVDs. Someone's like random collection of stuff. So we're actually going to go through here real quick, and it's all loose disc stuff, and it's all kind of mixed in. But first off, in the first section, we have a DVD of I Am Legend, followed by a handful of discs from the Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Box. So that's really cool. We have on DVD discs 1, 3, 4, and 5. No idea. And then the Star Wars The Clone Wars, the animated series. It looks like the complete seasons 1, 2, and 3. So we have four discs for season 1 and season 2. Like 3 discs there. And then season 3 looks like 4 discs for that. So, and the backs are all fine. It's all in pristine condition. It's just someone was maybe traveling or something and took all this stuff. So that, then we have, actually, here's the missing disc too. It was underneath another disc. Okay. And what's underneath here? Disc 6. So, that's interesting. And those were underneath Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Great one, and Budokai 3. So among the best Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball fighting games, and man, they are like pristine on the back. They just were in the sleeve. So even loose disc, I mean, again, for everything I'm showing you so far, it was $6. Then we have Shadow the Hedgehog, the 360 Prince of Persia. I remember my brother playing that. Kingdom Hearts, the first one, PS2. Sonic Heroes. Here is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, the first one. Put that with those. Harvest Moon, Save the Homeland. Mortal Kombat, Deadly Alliance. Jak 3. Mega Man X Collection, that's pretty cool. One of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy 12. And Dirge of Cerberus, underrated game. Hope they use some of that for the remake stuff. We have for the PC, so this one's not going to be anything, but Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 Acceleration Expansion Pack. Halo, the original Halo for the original Xbox. Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Also for the PC, Lego Batman. And for the Xbox, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Then, another disc to that flight simulator. Randomly, Ferris Bueller's Day Off on DVD. Then, some of the greatest Crash games ever. We have Crash Bandicoot Warped, and an Blockbuster sticker. How's the back of this one? Yeah, Blockbuster sticker on. In my opinion, I still think the greatest racing game of all time. Crash Team Racing. Love it, especially the PS1 version. The newer version is okay, but the original PS1 version. Then for PS2, we have Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for 360. Metal Gear Solid 2. And for PS1, Metal Gear Solid. Need for Speed Underground 2. Bioshock for Bioshock Infinite for the 360. Then we have Inception, and for some reason another DVD of I Am Legend. And looks like we have I think this is the first X-Men movie on DVD of the live action ones. Some web browser software, random things. One disc from the complete first season of the Flintstones. Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Napoleon Dynamite. Okay. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. Then we have Myst 3 Exile. Myst the Masterpiece Edition. Here's the other disc for Napoleon Dynamite. Riven, the sequel to Myst. Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. Some more Flight Simulator. V for Vendetta on DVD. And then we have a selection of Dragon Ball Z Kai, Part 1, discs 1 and 2 for Part 1. And looks like discs 1 and 2 for Part 2. And discs 1 and 2 of Part 3. So that's that whole folder. Unbelievable amount of stuff. All of that and a PS3 for $6. I just wanted to put that out there first to show you how insane this video is going to be, everything that came today. Because this is just the beginning. I'm looking next to me a pile that is like 10 times larger than this. Alright, and one other random video game find, just one of the other times, Asteroids on PS1, still something. And now let's go through VHS. That always seems to be a popular category before getting into DVDs and all the other electronics. Let's start off with a Batman collection on VHS. This is going to make a really cool lot. Of course, we have Batman, Batman Returns, sealed copy of Batman Robin, Batman Forever, Batman the Movie, Batman and Mr. Freeze, and one I've always really liked, I think this is, pretty sure this has been like rewrapped, I'll have to check this one, but Batman Mask of the Phantasm, really, really good movie, especially if you're a fan of the animated series, the 90s one. So that was the start, and those were all like just kind of together in the bin of Batman collection. Then next, I'm going to have to add to and edit a few listings that are up on the store, because I have a decent little Mary-Kate and Ashley VHS set up there, but now I just found 6 more. We have You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's Sleepover Party, Ballet Party, Hawaiian Beach Party, the Case of the Space Camp Mission, their Mall Party, and Birthday Party, and some more Care Bears VHS tapes as well. So those are definitely great when I can add and bulk up a lot of things, or tons of stuff. Lots of horror, which I'll have to get up because it's the season already. I wasn't expecting to find a lot of that, but we have Dracula. I was just rewatching a lot of the Universal, the 30s horror movies, the monster movies. Love them, they're classics, and a lot of those I haven't seen in a very long time, so it's cool to revisit them this year. And then we have the 60th anniversary collector's edition of Dracula and Frankenstein on VHS. It's a fun set. Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. Never heard of this one. A 1 volume of The Addams Family, the original 60s series, still by far the best incarnation of that. Then we have The Night Stalker, Jack the Night Stalker, Cross the Great Divide, a whole bunch of family stuff mixed in here as well. Split Infinity, a Disney sing-along, 12 Days of Christmas, the producers, the original movie version. A collector's 2-tape set. We have Vampires, What is the Truth Behind the Ancient Nightmare? Saturday the 14th. Mr. Science Theater 3000, the movie. Fun movie. It really just comes across as an average to above average episode of the show, but I love the DVD and Blu-ray release because the special features, the behind the scenes for this movie, honestly I think are better than the movie, more interesting. Rockadoodle. Hello Kitty, Santa's Missing Hat. Dario Argento's Trauma. Legend. I just love this artwork. Incredible movie. Love the artwork. Let's see, Roman Polanski's Repulsion. Flash. Got Flash Gordon. Just, this is such a fun, campy movie. Great. I mean, I love the old Buster Crabble stuff. That stuff's great. But man, this is definitely my favorite. Always fun to revisit. We have The Night Hunter. I love these every time. This is one I'm going to have to watch because I don't think I've ever seen this before. Anytime I see one of these old MGM United Artists Diamond Jubilee collection movies, it's like, I gotta check this out before it goes up at the store. I might like it. And so we have San Francisco, Clark Gable, The Importance of Being Donald, really old rental tape. One recorded off TV that looked like it might have something interesting. It has Charlotte's Web, Rainbow Bright, Rainbow Land, and Pound Puppies. So for a couple of cents, that's worth grabbing. A sealed copy of Rush Hour 2. The Punisher. This is the Dolph Lundgren version. That movie of The Punisher. I think probably the best version of The Punisher in movie form that I've seen. And this is a cool VHS box set. This Arnold Schwarzenegger set, which is interesting. They used the cover for Total Recall as the backdrop here. And then we have The Running Man, True Lies, Predator, Terminator, and Terminator 2. Then found a few books on CD. Born of Vengeance and Silent Treatment. And this is a good one from the unabridged on, I think it's 14 CDs, Children of Dune. And one music CD, we have Bernadette Peters, and You Get Your Gun. A couple of Disney vinyl record finds. We have Mary Poppins. It's an interesting cover, this one. I have a copy of Mary Poppins, the soundtrack. It's a Disneyland record, but it's a full-color illustrated book. It's really cool. The Story of Mary Poppins. It's 11 pages and goes through the story of Mary Poppins. Then we also have the same thing with the full-color animation, full-color illustrations, Cinderella of the animated feature. And the same thing with Snow White. And while moving this stuff around, it might be a good time to mention the most extreme news from this entire selection. I was shocked. I mean, I've been over the moon excited with how good these new bargain bins have been. They're just great, and it's worth the extra trip to get there, the crazy amount of stuff. And I've been talking to and like being nice and getting familiar with a lot of the staff there, and oh my gosh, the pricing I was looking at, because it was basically 4 or 5 times that I had a load and paid and went out, and then they changed stuff over and just going crazy. For everything today, in total, I couldn't believe it, including all the electronics I'm going to show you at the end, like heavy electronics. I still have piles of DVDs and books to go through. A total of $42 for everything in this entire video that you're going to see. I was even shocked, even considering the couple times I went there before and they were great. Like, today was just unbelievable. So now we're going to go through DVDs. Firefly complete series. That's the first release before it's repackaged into a smaller set. One of the greatest shows of all time. My wife loves that as well. Wolfhound, Spirited Killer Trilogy, Restless Heart, 2-disc edition. Madrasta. Barney, The Land of Make-Believe. Abominable. Casablanca, this is one of the anniversary edition covers. And we have Blindsided. Pamela Anderson in Barbed Wire. A collector's set of A&E Mysteries of the Bible. Medicine Man with Sean Connery. The Hunter. Joyride 1 and 2. My Best Friend's Girl, unrated. Quantum of Solace, some Bond. This is a sealed box set of The Color of War from the History Channel. One that I was excited to grab because this is a Jackie Chan movie that I've not seen, and that is a rare thing because I think including this there are only maybe 4 movies total that even makes an appearance in that I haven't seen. And I know it's a small role, but a special guest appearance, it even says on the front here, but Vampire Effect. Just never run across a copy of that, so I was like, alright, perfect to add. Sealed copy of I Am Sam. We have Exotica. Runaway Bride. Found 2 copies of Century of Warfare documentary series. This is really funny, and this is sealed. This is just nonsense, but someone's going to want this. This is crazy. This family survival course. Just, it's all about, yeah, the long-term family survival course. The looming crisis. Oh my gosh. Getting ready. When was this made? Oh, there's not a date on it. I always love because sometimes they'll very clearly define like which looming crisis, you know, Y2K or 2012, or there's no date on it. But so we have that. Then we have Bloodsport 4. There's a Bloodsport 4? I never knew this even existed. This is going to be terrible. Starring Daniel Bernhardt. And is that on the back here? Looks like the Thai Bo guy. But yeah, this might be one that I'll have to watch just for the kicks before moving on, because it's going to be trash. Scooby-Doo, 13 Spooky Tales, a holiday collection. Anthony Hopkins, triple feature. Disney Sing-Along, Disneyland Fun. I think this is exactly the same as a VHS tape, one of the sing-alongs. We have the 50th anniversary, I think. Some NCIS, seasons 9 and 3. And then we have seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Drawn Together. And I forget how many seasons listed there are. I think there's only maybe 4, so it's got to be maybe even only 3. I don't remember. But yeah, so this is either close to the whole thing or the whole thing. I've only seen maybe 2.5 episodes of this. It was like unbelievably just, it was too much for me. I did not like it humor-wise. But anyway, Natalie Wood, version of West Side Story. Tommyknockers. C.S. Lewis, Through the Shadowlands. A Steelbook Blu-ray of Resident Evil Degeneration. It has to clean it up a little bit. It looks like there's some like glitter on it. Someone has like little kids like glitter on the back. So I have to clean it up a little bit, but yeah, that was good. A Steelbook in the mix. Toy Story, Ben-Hur. When Calls the Heart 4-film collection. There are so many of these. I've never seen any of this, but I think it's all like Hallmark Channel, at least here in the U.S. And it's been a long-running series. There's like 8 billion Christmas movies. It's crazy how much of this there is. Season 3 of Flipper. The Ultimate John Wayne Collection, a 7-disc set including a documentary. It has 20 movies and 36 episodes, so appearances with John Wayne in different shows, and the documentary. It's a Mill Creek box set. One of my favorite musicals, which Amanda does not like, South Pacific. The Waltons, the complete first season. Good night, John Boy. Never a big fan of the Waltons. 30 Rock, season 1, and A River Runs Through It. One more video game find for the Wii. We have Zumba Fitness Join the Party, the box set. A few books, not a whole lot. That's the one thing about this location and why I'm glad there are a lot more of these library book sale things around here, is that we saw a lot of books, and that's the one thing they seem to be lacking in. They've been really good with media. I mean, as you've been watching all these videos, every time I go, I come back with bags full of DVDs, VHS, all kinds of stuff like that. Not as many books at this location, but we found a few of the Berenstain Bears, The Big Honey Hunt, and Old Hat, New Hat. Jennifer Weiner, that's really funny. Is that her real name? Jennifer Weiner, Good in Bed. Is that her real name? Because that's funny. Bear Cub Scout book, Boy Scouts of America, old Boy Scout, Cub Scout stuff. Can do well. And we have Roots, The Saga of an American Family. And debating whether or not I want to add this to my reading list, our book list, though. We have like a stack of books that we both want to read. Because I've seen, of course, the LeVar Burton miniseries several times, and we own that on DVD. I've never actually read it, though. So I'm debating whether or not to add that to the list. Orson Scott Card, Shadow Puppets. Jackie Collins, The Stud. I have one book of old comics. We have Andy Capp, Sounds Off. And then a 1980 first edition Del Rey, not in perfect condition, novelization of The Empire Strikes Back, but the fact that it was a first edition paperback, wanted to grab that. And one last oddball, well, two last oddball things. Every once in a while, if they're kind of an interesting design, and I can get them for cheap, like a few pennies, I will grab some old phones, because they can sell well. These huge buttons. You can tell size-wise, like, these are like monstrously huge. They have to be for someone with really, really poor eyesight. I've never seen, it's almost like a kid's play phone, the size, but it's a normal phone. But they will sell sometimes for, sometimes people use them still in offices, props very frequently. Other times people will use them for almost like decoration if they're doing a more like a retro theme in a room. So if it's interesting and I can get like in total today, there's no way I paid more than like 5 cents for it. So I'm like, okay, grab that. And the occasional Etsy decorative type item, don't sell a lot of that because I don't find a lot of that that's good really and cheap. But this is actually pretty interesting. Some vintage advertisements on wood from Coca-Cola and Quaker Oats. And that was pretty nice, so I wanted to grab that, and it's very lightweight. Now for the final two things, this stuff has me just the greatest amount of excitement out of all of this, even more than any of the other stuff. A player for a format. There's a new format in the family. This is one of those random formats, but over the years there will be some kind of oddball formats that maybe I found a tape or two, or whatever the format type is, and I might have sort of like a little oddball format collection museum that might end up in the store one day, might be mine, depends. The kind of stuff that I never really expect to stumble upon a player, and the kind of stuff they're not priorities formats like Laserdisc or DVD or something where I want to have a working player. It's just if I stumble upon one. So for years I've had two movies on Video 8, Beverly Hills Cop and The Search for Spock, Star Trek. Years, I mean over a decade easily for both of these. And if you don't know what they are, and this is again, I'm going to have to do, now that I have a player, a more in-depth video talking about the format in the future. That's something to look forward to. But just for now, they are little mini, they're basically VHS. They're like the VHS-C format for recording, like camcorders, but they are released, fully released movies. It literally just looks like a mini VHS tape, and that's roughly what the quality is. And they were available for home use, but not very successful. These were mostly just used in airlines. So if you've watched an in-flight movie, it was almost guaranteed. If you're watching it in, especially like the late 80s to very early 2000s, almost guaranteed to be on a Video 8. So had those just in the collection randomly for years. And today I had one of those just shock moments where I tried not to say out loud because you don't want other people to know what you found, moments at the bins. And I pulled it out from the bin and charged me $3. So what the heck, for format I never thought I was going to have a player for, a Video 8. This is huge. And it's a beautiful Sony format, of course, obviously. I love my old Sony stuff. It is heavy, it is huge. It has, thankfully, RF and AV out and in, and like it's just beautiful player. It's in really good condition, and I didn't even take it apart and clean it out yet, which I tried to do with all my vintage electronics. It looks so pristine, and I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't know if this even really needs it, and I'll still take the top off and check, but I just plugged it in and gave it a quick test, and it immediately was working. No cleaning, no tinkering, it just worked right out of the bins. I pulled it out of a junk bin full of broken, it was like ripped up books and things that was in there, and a few broken old VCRs, and we're sitting there looking up at me. I saw that little blue Video 8. Holy cow. So I'm going to be talking about this format in the future a little bit more in depth than that, and kind of take a closer look than in this quick pickups video. But I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. That was coming home with me no matter what. But when I was going to put on the scale, and she's like, oh, the big heavy thing, and just says like $3. And okay, which is what she charged me for the PS3, because that was $3 and $3 for all that big bundle of games. So I couldn't believe it. And I found one other little thing that was perfect and kind of something I've been looking for a while, but one of those things I was not willing to really pay for. You know, it was just sort of a make your life a little bit easier and kind of fun. And eventually we moved to a new location, have more of a better, bigger set staging area and stuff for testing electronics, and like a better workbench area. I'll have like a larger, nice TV to use for that kind of testing. But for right now, it's more of I take an electronic that I'm testing out for the store or anything like that, or maybe a disc or a VHS tape, and using our own home, normal use stuff. And it's more wear and tear, and then at the same time, it's also, if I need to hook up a new format, I have to get behind the TV or behind the projector, unplug and unplug things. More of a pain. So I've been wanting just like a little portable, not even 5-pound TV, something I just kind of put on top of or next to the thing I'm testing and pull it out and don't have to worry about cable management. And in the bins today, this really nice full color 5-inch Magnavox. It's a portable TV, not a whole lot of use for the signal these days. Not really going to get a whole lot on the VHF or UHF, but it also has AV input, and it's in really good condition, and weighs, it's got to weigh less than 5 pounds. I mean, this is a light thing. It looks bigger and heavier than it actually is. It's very, very, very light. It has a little handle. It's nice, and I hooked it up, and this also worked right away, and hooked it up to the Video 8 and was checking it out on that. And this is going to be a perfect little thing for when I need to test electronics, that this can just be sitting in a drawer and I can pull it out, just put it on the table and test, and not have to worry about other stuff. So I'm like, that was great. And again, same thing, it's charging me $3. All the big electronic stuff that once it's over a certain weight, they usually will do just a general price anyway. Not like if people found bicycles randomly and stuff, you never know, and they're not going to charge you the by weight pound for that. It seems that's crazy. So for electronics, but they're normally not that nice. I don't know, this location. So that works perfectly. It was just a cherry on top of the incredible Sunday. Man, was blown away. This is gonna be a long video. I don't even know how long I've been talking, because this is one of the best days I've ever had. Just crazy. I couldn't believe it. Finding an old vintage format and have it just work like that. Something I never actually expected to ever come across. Amazing. And just piles of great stuff. I can't believe that DVD binder full of like video games, because video games, they always sort out before it ever gets there. So that was a rare score for this area. Yeah, just crazy.